look into their website, kind of see what they like to do. We also do roofing, right? So building envelope, everything needs to be waterproofed, okay? They got the gutter, the siding, the standing seam panel, and the roof, okay? The Walt Disney Concert Hall, right? You guys all been there, right? That used to be all mirror finish, stainless, okay? Obviously that was blinding, gave off a lot of heat, so they had to put a little finish to it, a little grain to it, so it doesn't reflect as much, but that's part of it. We also have detailers, okay? Detailers will take a single line drawing from an engineer, right? An engineer's drawing, all it says is that there's a register right here, and then that's gonna connect to this register, and it'll just be a single line. The detailers will come back in, they'll do a double line drawing, they'll actually give off the dimensions for the duct itself. So they're the ones actually drawing up the plans, right? They're using AutoCAD, Autodesk programs, Revit programs, one of the newer ones that's more 3D. So if you look at some of these programs, right, all those drawings are then inputted all with the electricians, with the pipe fitters, with the plumbers. They all get put into one sheet. They make sure everything doesn't clash and everything is good. Then they'll send these drawings out to the shop and the shop fabricator. Okay? So, pretty cool, you know, only different part of the trade, but part of our scope of work. That's cool. Yeah, so if you're into like working on the computer, you can take some of the courses here and get yourself into that detailing program where you can, you know, detail work. I have a few apprentices. I know Yvette. She's, you know, ever since she started as an apprentice, she's took all the AutoCAD courses, detailing program, and then she's right now detailing right now for ACO, so pretty good for them. We also have tab technicians, testing, adjusting, balancing, right? So they use a totally different set of tools, right? They got, you know, flow hoods that they use to measure all the registers, to calculate the CFM, how much, you know, air is coming out on each side. So if you look, let's say if you're in a restroom situation, right, you want negative pressure because you want all the smells to be kept in that room. And then if you're in a clean room situation, you want a little bit of positive pressure because you want the dust and debris to, you know, be out of that room. So they're the ones that balance the system, adjust dampers. They also deal with fire life safety, right? You got fire and smoke dampers. If there's a fire in the building, these dampers, you know, you have to be a technician to install, inspect, and also, you know, make sure that, you know, inspect that they're working properly, right? So, you know, anytime there's a fire that starts, those dampers will automatically close and then, you know, prevent smoke from going to every room, okay? So then the occupancies can get a chance to kind of leave. A lot of time when there is a fire in the building, a lot of times smoke inhalation is what causes the deaths, okay? Not because of the fire itself, but all the smoke that comes out, right? If you look at any HVAC system, it's connected to every single room of every building. So it's really important that those are installed correctly and inspected every so often, okay? We also have welders, right? You guys are all welders, okay? I was a welder myself. I'm actually, was part-time CWI. We do have night classes at night where our members can come in and get certified. And the cool thing about our apprenticeship too is that every certification that's required for the job is done in-house at the school. Okay, the only one is the LA City, which is not, but we do reimburse you. So if it does, you know, I think that test costs $120 something, right, to take or whatever. We will reimburse you for that. And when you come times for renewal, every 3 years you gotta renew it, we also reimburse you guys for that too. Okay? So that's the only test you have to take outside. Obviously, LADBS is the only one that can provide that test for the written part. But for the practical part, you guys can do that practical at our facility here. Later on, when we go out to take a tour, you can kind of see our welding area is pretty big. We got about 52 welding booths, so it's a lot of, you know, once you guys become a member, you guys use those booths, practice, get certified and stuff, so it's pretty cool. But obviously, yeah, we have custom hoods, kitchen hoods, a lot of duct work that needs to be fabricated. Like I said, all the structural supports for those mechanical units need to be welded in. Any questions on the specialties? Benefits, right? So obviously you're going to be working with union contractors. We're local 105. There is no debt after completion. You guys are getting good benefits, right? Health benefits that covers the whole family, medical, vision, dental, You know, Lysine, the guy that was here earlier, he has 6 kids, his whole family's covered, right? So you don't have to worry about limitations on how many kids you want. But you got your local pension, national pension, 401A plan, savings, HRA card, you know, all that good stuff. So any questions on the benefits? You guys all know what the pension plan, HRA cards are?
What's an HRA?
So they put 50 cents for every hour you work, and that card is like a debit card that you can use on any kind of deductible, right? Any kind of medical, any, you know, prescriptions. So anytime, you know, I go see a doctor and there's like a $5 deductible, $10, I can use that card and it covers it. So I don't ever have to take money out of my pocket to you know, to pay for those little deductibles. And it's kind of cool because you don't have to worry about, when I'm, you know, back then when I used to work non-union, it's like I get injured and you're like, should I go to the doctor? Like, you know, I don't want to pay $300 for a blood test or whatever. You know, now you kind of, you know, not worried about it. So it's really good, you know. And another cool thing about our trade is that you guys do receive pension credit. So if you complete the 5 years of our program, you guys get 5 years of pension credit. Okay. A lot of other trades, you don't get those 5 years. You don't get pension credit until you journey out. So you lose out on 4 or 5 years. So it's a lot of time.
For the benefits, is it fully covered?
Yeah. It's a certain there's certain deductibles that you have to pay, obviously, but yeah, you're gonna be covered. Yeah. Question?
You said you'll still get the 5 years of pension credit. Will you be able to use the pension credit after the 5 years, or?
I want to say you can, but you're gonna be taxed heavily on it.
Oh yeah, never mind.
There's I forgot the percentage, but there's a chart where it's like, hey, what age, how many years you put into it, and then you're taxed heavily on it. So. And also, yeah, once you become a member, obviously we have night classes, so any type of training that we provide, you could also come back. So even when you journey out, you can always, you know, if there's a new certification that comes up, you guys can come back in as a journeyman and take night classes and get certified for that. And I think our trade, you know, it's one of those trades where, you know, there is a lot of certifications that are required for certain work, but that's the thing, it keeps us, we're the only ones that can do it, right? If you work for a non-union company, they might not know about the new certifications, right? And also it keeps you really competitive, right? If you go to like, I don't want to talk bad about the carpenters, but the carpenters, right, they kind of take anyone and everyone, right? And it's competitive because if there's no certifications attached to any of the work, so they could, you know, anyone can take your job, right? But if you're the only one that has that certification, you'll be kept, you know, busy at your company for sure.
So having more certifications is a plus.
Yeah, always. Yeah, I'll keep you working for sure. Like I said, that LA City certification, I feel like, I don't know any member that has that certification is out of work. They're always constantly working. Yeah. And when I was a third-year apprentice, they were paying me over scale because I had that certification because no one else could get it, right? So it's one of those things where you guys as welders just strive to get the top certification that's needed, right? So it is a difficult test to take, but you know we're here to, you know, like I said, we do have a summer class that you guys can take that will run you guys through it. Yeah. If we look at this map, we serve a large area of Southern California, right? We got Inyo, Mono, San Bernardino, Orange County, Riverside. So, you know, it's a good thing, right? We serve a huge area, there's a lot of work, but also a bad thing is that you might be driving to Palm Springs, right, Palmdale, or whatever. You gotta be driving pretty far. A lot of our work is in LA, but sometimes they might send you out pretty far. So there is a lot of drive time, a lot of windshield time. You guys are called journeymen. You guys do journey out. You guys have to travel quite a bit, okay? So depending on, you know, if you're dispatched to a contractor that does a lot of retrofitting, they'll take out the old unit, install a new unit. You might be at that job for 1 week. You might be moving on to another job the next week, right? You might be at a stadium where it's a 1 year to 2 year job, right? Clipper Stadium, SoFi Stadium, right? Those are 1 or 2 year jobs. You might be going there for a year or two. You could be at the shop where you're just going to the same place every day, right? So it just depends on who you're working for, pretty much. Question? Yes.
If you do have to travel far, do you guys pay per diem?
Yeah. So it's 50 miles, I think if it's more than 50 miles, and it's where the bird flies, okay? So it's not like they calculate how many miles you're actually driving. It's from point A to point B. Yeah. So there'll be like, I think it's 50 miles and you get $25 a day, and any other increases.
You can't drive in the opposite direction to get the 50 miles.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
something like that, like, yeah. So it kinda sucks, yeah, it's from the first.
Where's the
one.
center point?
Where our union hall's at, so right on the
Oh, okay.
10 freeway and the 57, so around that area is where they calculate it from, yeah. And sometimes they'll do it from the shop too, so it depends. All right, if you look up at your pamphlet, this is your wages. Pretty much you start off as a first year apprentice, you're making about 40% of what a journeyman makes. So about $20.75 on the check. As a total package of all your benefits, you're making about $34.25. Every 6 months, you come to school, you're doing your work hours, you're passing your tests, you're doing your homework assignments. You get a raise every 6 months. Okay. Let's see. Come January, there's going to be a $1.79 increase in our wages, so this is going to change pretty soon. But right now, journeyman $51.88. Come January, add another $1.79 to that. Total package is about $82.32, so a little over $100 grand a year. Okay, that's without overtime. All right, so if the contractor offers you overtime, you get, obviously more. If you become foreman or detailer, automatic 15%. If you become a general foreman, 20% increase. Like I said before, even as an apprentice, you could always get more wages too, but this is the least you can make, right? Once you journey out, $51.88 is the least amount you can make. You can only go above that, okay? So, yes.
That first tab says savings plan, negative 10%. Is that's separate from your pension, and what is that entail?
So what it is, it's your money that they're taking 10% off. So that's your vacation money that they put on. So every, all the hours that you work, they'll take 10% and put it into another account. And then they'll deposit that every month. So it kind of helps guys that can't.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. It's kind of like
trouble
a monthly
saving,
bonus
yeah, then
that
it's
you
kinda
pay
like
into yourself.
Yeah, you're paying to yourself.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
it's
that's
negative
cool.
10%.
Okay.
So, it's cool. At first I kind of hated it because it's like, hey, but they give you a debit card, right? You can use it as freely as you want, but they don't deposit that money until a month later. So
Okay.
you kind of have that hold, but at least, a lot of students, they ignore that account. Hey, that's my savings, and then, builds up, so.
So about that 401k, so if I decide, I wanna add more to it, does the union match that?
No, we do a 401A.
Okay,
So 401A is your own money that you allot
okay.
to whatever
okay, it's not a case.
shares you want.
Alright.
Yeah, so it's not a match by a company. Yeah, you can put as little as much as you want. It's up to you, but I put right now I'm putting $10 in because it's gonna lower my tax bracket. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it. But yeah, 401A is your money. 401K will be
Okay.
the company will match you. Yes.
When all that happens, do you guys, offer us banking, or can we use our own, like, banking or credit union?
It's gonna be the banking that the union set up. So we use financial partners. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Back on that banking one, if I already have a credit union, I could just, keep my guys, writing on my stuff, I'm using my credit union. So,
All right, things to consider. Obviously, this is a construction trade, right? You guys kind of know, right? It's gonna be tough, dirty, sometimes dangerous, right? You're gonna be dealing with heights. You need a little bit of strength, stamina, right? You can be tied off to a building. You could be on a boom lift, scissor lift, scaffolding, extension ladders, right? A-frames, all that stuff. So you want to make sure that you're not afraid of heights. You want to make sure that you have some strength, right? We don't do a boot camp or anything, so we're not going to test you on, hey, if you can carry a cement bag up the stairs. We don't do that, right? I know the ironworkers require you to climb a I-beam, right? We don't require that. They say a minimum 25 pounds, right? We're sheet metal. We don't do too heavy things, but there's some pounding systems that get pretty large, right? But a lot of times we're on scissor lifts and stuff. So heights, confined spaces, right? If you're working outdoors, you could be working in the sun, in the rain, right? So things like that. Obviously, you gotta have a flexible schedule. Like I said before, sometimes, if a job is near a residential area in LA, your start time might be at 5 in the morning, it's gonna get 8 in the morning. So imagine trying to get to LA 8 in the morning, right? You gotta wake up 2 or 3 hours earlier to get there on time, right? And on time is not like, hey, it starts at 8, you be there at 8. It's like, hey, you gotta be there at 7:45, your bag's ready to go to work, right? So, stuff like that. Like I said before, it's a lot of drive time. Okay, that's a negative. Hopefully gas prices are coming down, but you know, during that time with the gas hikes, it hurts a lot of people's wallets, right?
Right now that you're saying that about the drive time, so the hours that we accumulate towards the journeyman certification, does the drive time count, or is
No.
it just when we're there working?
Just when you're there working. Yeah, so your clock doesn't start until you touch metal. Okay, so the time you drive there doesn't count, okay?
Would that be offset if it is the further distance of drive times?
Yeah, then you get that for
Okay, okay.
Let's see. All right, I'll talk a little bit about the application process. So the first thing you gotta do is submit the application, whether you do it today. I'll give you guys some ones that you can write, and then you can do it online also. After you submit the application, once we receive 250 applicants, a letter will come out, be sent out to you guys, so make sure you guys put your correct mailing address, okay? Because they are gonna send you a slow mail, for your test date. Usually there's 2 sessions for that test date. You'll come in, either in the morning or in the afternoon. Obviously, you gotta be on time, okay? If you're late, even 1 second, once that door closes, at that time, you can come take the test, okay? But yeah, if you go to our website, and scan the QR code, there's a website link on the packet too. There's a lot of good information. Like I said, that's gonna be the most up-to-date, information you'll get. So once, like I said, new wages, new anything comes out, it'll be on the website updated, okay? But the testing is a 4-part test. The first part, 8th grade level math, pass or fail. It's not worth any points, okay? All you gotta do is pass it. 8th grade level math, you know, 3-digit multiplication, division, a little bit of fractions, a little bit of algebra, okay? You got your other 3 parts, they're worth 15 points each. You got your mental ability, comprehension, paperboard, total of 45 points. You need a minimum of 30 points out of 45 to pass, to move on to the oral interview, okay? Here's some samples, okay, 8th grade level math. If you guys go to our website too, you go to application process, there's actually 2 sample tests on that website, and also a YouTube video. Usually the night before a test, testing is usually on a Friday, so the night before the test on a Thursday, there's a night class that the instructors will hold that will kind of go over some of the test questions, okay? But yeah, you guys can see a little bit of basic algebra, fractions, not too bad, right? Pretty easy. All right, comprehension, dealing with shapes. They want to make sure you're able to kind of flip things around your head, right? If you're looking at drawings, or if you're looking at, you know, sometimes you have to build something and it has to be a mirror image of it, then, you know, this is kind of dealing with that. But can anyone give me an answer to this one?
The triangle, the top.
3?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
3?
3? 3, you're right, so pretty simple. Okay, this one's a little tough because it's on a projector. And it's, those sizes are pretty challenging. But what 2 shapes will make figure number 1?
A and B?
B and E?
Oh, B.
So this one could be tricky, right? But if you're taking the test, you have a pencil, you use that as a ruler, okay? You can use that to measure things, okay? And like I said, the hardest part about this test is that you have to do this really quickly, okay? I remember when I took the test, I was, you know, I couldn't finish the last page for every section because they don't give you enough time to do it. There might be one section where it's, you know, matching 20 questions or whatever, and they might say, hey, there's only 3 minutes for that section. So you gotta do it really fast. So fast and accurate is the key to this test, okay? You don't ever wanna spend too much time on one question. You wanna do them as accurately as possible. But for this one, mechanical aptitude, which wheel is turning in the same direction as wheel number 4?
1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, 5, there you go. That's the one that's on the outside of the belt. So it'll be the only one turning in the opposite direction. That's good, right? So it's not too bad. I mean, mechanical aptitude is kind of tough because it's really hard to study for. It's mostly things that you kind of encounter in real life, right? You can always download applications. There's books that you can read up on that will kind of give you sample questions, and that will help you out. Any questions on the testing? Okay. Like I said before, look on the website for study guides and stuff. There's 2 different ones. It's a good resource. And usually when they do send you a letter to take the test, they'll give you like a 2-week notice, so you kind of have that time to study up and everything. Alright, so once you pass 30 points out of 45, you get to go to the oral interview process worth 50 points. You're gonna be sitting down with a panel of judges, right? They're all sheet metal workers. They're gonna sit you down. Why do you want to become a sheet metal worker? You know, they're gonna explain to you all the dangers. You know, like I said before, you're gonna be dealing with scaffolding, you're gonna be working on the side. You know, the same thing, oral interview. You want to bring a resume, any kind of trade-related certifications. So you guys all have your welding certifications, right? So you want to bring those in too. Okay. They're just gonna ask you questions, and then, like I said, they're gonna score you on. I don't know how they do it, but I think they divvy up the points. Like I said, there's 5 members, and then you go from there. Okay. After that, right away, they might drug test you. Okay. So you gotta make sure you're clean. Marijuana is legal, but obviously not at at a job site. Okay. That stuff will stay in your system for 2 months. Okay. So if you need to get clean right away, because then that's always gonna stay in your system for quite a long time, right? If you look at the exam interview and the oral interview portion, equates to 95 points possible. If you have that high school diploma, GED, college degree, or if you're a veteran, you get an extra 5 points, so that makes that 100%. Okay. We always take the higher score. So if you decide that your first test that you take is free, the second one that you take is a $45 charge. Okay. You can retake it as many times as you want. So let's say you come in, you felt like you didn't do so well, or you haven't got called back in a few months, then maybe they'll send you a letter to tell you your score. And if it's not, like I said, if it's not more than a high 80, don't expect a call back. Right? So you want to come back in, retake the test. Yes.
Not that I really plan on scoring low, but does that score stick with you forever, or like after a year?
After a year,
it'll wipe away,
yeah.
so then I can reapply and not get the $45 charge?
Well,
Not to say that's a deterrent, but.
yeah, technically, yeah. I
Okay.
believe so. Yeah, your application will be gone after a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're constantly kind of tested throughout your years. You're constantly like tested on stuff like this throughout your entire like journey.
Apprenticeship? No, I mean, a lot of the testing material is just an aptitude test, so it just wants to make sure that you know how to do some, basic math, basic
Common sense.
common stuff. Yeah. I don't feel like it's too hard of a test, but like I said, the time limitation is what makes it really hard. Yeah, I don't think it's a hard test, but yeah, the limits on the time. A lot of people struggle mostly with the math and the mechanical side of it. But other than that, like I said, it's just you kind of see it. If you're able to work fast and do it quickly, then if not, then hey, you didn't pass the first time. You can always be like, hey, I know kind of what's on the test now, and then you come back and retake it. Like I said, you can retake it as many times as you want. It's just like a $45 charge.
Good thing you say that. So like the gentleman, I'm not aiming to score low, but if I score shy of 80, then I want to retake it. Is this exam or test the same way, just alternate like different
Yeah.
questions, or is it different questions every time?
Typically, it's going to be the same, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen them change anything, from asking some of the new apprentices that come in. Seems like it's similar. And they'll always take the higher too, so if you score low the second time, they'll leave the first score.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so they're not gonna punish you for that. Anyone a veteran or anything? Veterans? No? Okay. Yeah, if you guys have a, high school diploma, make sure you bring that in before your test starts, okay? Because you can fax it in, you just need a copy of it. You can fax it a number, call them, make sure that it is in your file, okay? Before your test date, because then they need that application in before then. Those 5 extra points, like I said, is worth a lot, okay? So any college degree, GED that you have, you can always submit those. Yes.
Good. On that one, what if we have both? Does it just count for one, or does it?
Yeah, it doesn't stack. Yeah. Just one time 5 points, and that's it. So if you're a veteran and you have your high school diploma, you don't get 10. It's just either one. Yes.
With our, we got a welding diploma, would that count as a degree too?
No.
No.
It has to be either.
Okay.
All right, and then you're ranked on your on how high you score. Okay, so like I said, it's all dependent on your skill. So the higher you score, the higher you are on the dispatch list. So what it is that when they call you, they'll give you a list of contractors that are requesting apprentices. They'll say, hey, Apple's calling, they're doing a job in LAX for whatever you want to take it or not. you could, deny 2 jobs, the third one you have to take. Okay, so they'll give you a whole list of jobs, and you can deny two of them, and then the third one you have to take. So it's kind of a, little thing, if you score higher, you get the better pick of the lot.
So if you're dispatching us out to a job site that is requesting apprentices, they're typically going to accept you when you go that way, or is it another interview process that you're gonna go?
No, they'll
Oh,
take you.
okay,
Yeah.
so they're looking for a certain number of people and send that certain number of
Yeah.
people over that way?
Yeah, they have
Oh,
a
okay.
ratio they need to match too, so like with that, it's 1 journeyman for 2 apprentices.
Okay,
So once you get dispatched out, you go to that job, and then you'll be partnered up with the journeyman, and they'll train you from there. And in the beginning, a lot of apprentices will ask me too, like, they're gonna start you off, obviously they know that you don't know the industry, right? They'll expect you to not know anything, so, you're gonna start off, sweeping the floor, helping the journeyman get tools, grabbing cords and, silly things like that. I mean, things like, basic stuff, and then they kind of fill you out, then they're gonna start training you how to, do panels or do this, whatever the jobs require, they'll start building up everything, so.
and then you also said you're able to not accept 2 jobs, but you have to accept the third one. So
Yeah.
that means if you send out the 3 for the first job, 2 of them don't take it, you'll go down on the list and send the next 2 people based off of their scores.
Yeah, so so when you're on, say you're high on the list, you get called up first and you say, hey, I don't want any of these jobs, and I want to try back tomorrow, then you get, I think it was like 5 placements down.
Okay.
So you get back of the line.
Well, I'm more worried, like if you're third and number 1 and 2 don't want that job, you get bumped to go into that first position in a sense?
Yeah.
Like you'll be
Yeah,
that
they
next
don't want
person in
those-
line to
they
go
don't
for that
want those jobs,
apprenticeship?
and then, they'll
Okay.
go to you too, so.
Huh.
Any other questions? And a lot, a lot of different trades too, like, you have to solicit yourself.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to go knock on contractor's door, and a lot of times that kind of, dissuades people to join the unions. Cause I know a guy that, one of the instructors that comes in and does the tour here too, he's like, yeah, he was trying to join, I think it was a carpenter's union, he was trying to join a carpenter's union, he was busting his ass all day, and like for a few years, and they never wanted to sponsor him, so he never got in, so that's why he never wanted to do it. But here it's cool, cause like I said, you just take the test, and depending on how you score, that's all they care about, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a big thing. Any other questions on it? All right, so once you're in, like I said, it's a 5-year training program, okay? So the first 3 years, you're gonna learn your basic core material, OSHA authority, safety, you're gonna do layout, you're gonna learn how to use all the machines out on the shop, you're gonna actually learn how to, form all those parts. And then your 3rd year, you're gonna do blueprint reading and welding. Your last 2 years, you get to choose an elective, so whether you wanna become a tap technician, service technician, detailer, welder, you can take more of those classes in those last 2 years, so. But yeah, once you're in, you're gonna be, coming to school once every 2 weeks, so about twice a month that you'll come into school. It's an 8-hour day, you don't get paid for that 8-hour day because you're not working. The other days, you're gonna be dispatched out, you're gonna be working with your contractor, okay? Yeah, after that, after all the requirements are met, you're doing your homework, like I said, you're doing your work hours, you get a raise every 6 months, yes.
Do the 2-week, the classes every 2 weeks continue on year 4 and 5 as well? That's
Yeah.
with the electives? That's
Yeah.
the same schedule? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, you are able to journey out 6 months early. So if you're, during your 5th year, you can journey out 1 full semester earlier. If your contractor says, hey, I need this guy here, he's good enough, he's adequate, he knows enough, you can journey out, he can vouch for you by a letter, you can journey out earlier. Okay, so a lot of the jobs do require someone to graduate from an apprenticeship program to actually work at that job. That's why it's really important to actually get this certification once you're done. Okay. Any other questions for me? We can head out. Yes.
Does the LA City certification help you, I guess, to get that journeyman 6 months early? Or would that not really be a part? That's just more your work ethic?
It just depends on your contractor. Right now, recently under our new CBA, our collective bargaining agreement, if you have your LA City and you're actually using your certification and you're welding more than hours a day, you're actually supposed to get paid 5% over scale. I mean, there's a lot of apprentices that come in, like I said, this is a career, right? You guys come in, this is, you know, it's still, you gotta put a little effort into it. It is your career, it is your, you know, your future. So you come in and then sit there and just run through the class and not do anything about it. But if you come in and you get certifications that are required, you know, you're well needed in with your contractor, you know. Like I said, I was getting paid 15% over scale with my contractor. I see a lot of students that come in third year, fourth year, they have their own truck, they're a foreman now, they got their own gas car, got their own crew, you know, it just depends on how much effort you guys put in, right? But you gotta hustle, right? When I was in apprentice, I was hustling. You know, when the guy next to me putting up panels, I made sure I put more panels than him every single day, because they're counting, right? You might not see it, but you know, on the back of their head, they're counting every panel you put up. So they wanna make sure you're productive, you know, that's what you gotta do, you gotta hustle. And that's all it is, you know, a lot of people come in, they're like, oh, I don't know the trade, I'm afraid, you know, but as long as you show up on time and you don't talk back and you work, you know, you're making the company money, man, you're gonna be fine, right? A lot of the students that don't make it in the program is because they don't show up, they don't call back, they don't, you know, answer the phones, they show up late all the time, or they talk back, right? So it's like, you know, it's not that hard to keep a job, you just gotta make sure you're on time, ready to work.
Which are like the top contractors they work with?
Probably one of the biggest ones, ACO right now. Got ACO, Southland, we got, you know, but yeah, if you go to our union's website, they do have a list of contractors that you can kind of view. So, go to local 105. So we have a union website, and then we also have one for our school. So if you go to, business development and contractors, there's the list of contractors that we have. All right, so they're all signatory, type of work, you know, you could scroll through. All right, type of employer, where they're located, they're from. So Apple is probably one of the biggest ones. This is our school's webpage. There's course information, there's elective classes information. Like I said, application, you go to application process, there's YouTube videos, there's 2 different study guides right here that you guys can, you know, download and review, okay? Some of the mechanical. All right, can anyone tell me this answer?
Okay, look at this drawing of 2 temperatures equal for one easily.
Airflow.
Easy enough, right?
Like a gas
On to the
fan.
next one, right? So, you know, like I said, as long as you do it quickly, right? This one,
Oh, wait.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh.
I mean, cotton.
yep.
Cotton.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, mechanical aptitude, like I said, is kind of weird, those questions, right? You can't really study for it. It's just like, how do you study for that? You know, but, yeah, you get questions like that.
Do your laundry. Oh.
Do your laundry. All right, any other questions? Yeah, you can view our website.
What did you type in the search engine to pull up the school website?
Just go to SoCalSMA.org. So it's on that, yeah, it's on that.
Oh, it is. Okay, I'm
There's
sorry.
a QR code.
You just typed it in kind of quick.
Question on the website, there's something about
Toilet partitions?
Title 24.
Title 24, yeah, Title 24 is a,
Does that entail with us as apprentice, or?
no, it's just it's one of the new classes that they have. It's an energy efficiency bill that they recently, kind of applied.
Do
It's
we
like a
cover
new-
that? Do we have to take that?
You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you wanna take it, you can take it as an elective.
I'm just wondering, because since I attended 2 different schools at the same time, and obviously we're in Apple. My school at BTS, they talked to us about that, but they said if you are ever join any union that has that, take that, because it'll propel your
Yeah.
career. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
kind of trying to engage in.
Okay, yeah, when you come in, you could, you know, once you come in, once you become a member, you know, a lot of times, you know, school starts January and also in June, so, you know, sometimes people will get in, they won't even start school until a couple months later, so you might be working before then. But once you're working, man, you're paying your dues, you can come in and take the night classes, and we offer that Title 24 class at night. And if you do pass that test, you gotta pass the qualifier in Mat level 1.
Uh-huh.
If you pass the Mat level 1, we were giving away $350, so it's another bonus. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but right now, that's what we're still currently doing.
When you take the night classes, how long does the night class typically run?
It runs throughout the whole semester. It's a 3-night class, or a
Oh, I mean,
3-hour
like
class.
hour, oh, 3 hours,
Yeah,
okay.
3-hour class.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, some classes might be a 6-night class, some might run through the whole semester, so 10 or 15 days. Yeah.
What,
And then welding's Monday and Wednesday.
where is that, when he's talking about?
Title 24?
Yeah.
You go to signups. This one is Title 24. Yeah, so actually, let me pull up a better one. Yeah, so it's a new efficiency bill, right, energy code to reduce waste. But once you complete, your Mat level 1, you're able to fill out the mechanical forms, okay? So you can fill out 9 of them out of 25. And then to be Mat level 2, you actually need to be a tap technician to actually do Mat level 2. Then you can fill out the other forms, okay? So it's a total of 25 forms. Right now, it's 18 forms as of 2023. Come January, it's gonna be 25, so they added another 7 forms. But it's like multi-family dwellings and stuff. So if you're not dealing with multi-family areas, you don't have to fill out the form, but they added this recently. Yeah. But it's cool, because, our training facility, everything, we work with the ITI International, so any training material, any new thing that comes up, we're notified right away, and we'll send our instructors to get training, and then they'll be able to get all the resources to, certify you guys. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, we got a laser welder that we're setting up right now. You guys ever seen one of those?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
on
those are
YouTube.
really cool. You see videos, right? Of those guys,
Yeah.
yeah? It's amazing. No warpage, no heat input, that's a lot, less heat. Looks like a TIG weld, just like done easily, yeah. So we're getting that set up right now. We gotta work on painting the room and whatever, but we got it all hooked up right now, so it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to write new WPSs for it and everything, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's one of those exciting new technologies that we got right now going on. We got HoloLenses, we got 3D printers, so a lot of cool things. But yeah, any other questions before we
Sorry, I don't wanna hold this back, but,
I love it when you
you
guys have questions.
you have
guys
to
are
have
listening.
250 applicants until you guys consider whatever number goes down in?
Yeah, so what it is that once we get 250 applicants, then that's when we send the letters out. Yeah, because a lot of times usually only half of them show up to the test. So the sooner you submit your application, the sooner you'll get that test, letter to take the test, yes.
Would you have a guesstimate on roughly how long that takes to get your, or like averagely, do you get in?
I wanna say,
2 times a year or something like that?
every 3 months.
Every,
Yeah. But I can't guarantee that, I don't know, because some people say,
Yeah.
oh, it took them 6 months, and it
Yeah.
took me only 1 month, so.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Just depends where you are in the
Yeah,
cycle.
when you sign up, I guess, and when yes, question?
I filled out an application last time I was here. Do we get any sort of recognition of having had filled that out, or,
Yeah, it's one of those things that they don't have a system yet
okay,
that they could confirm
okay.
and let you guys know.
Because I filled it out and I'm like, should I have
Yeah.
heard something back by now, or at least like, oh, hey, you filled out an application?
Yeah.
Not really.
I think it takes, it takes like 1 month or 2, because they recently just, did a testing recently.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure, the next one is probably middle of January is the
Okay.
next one, so
Okay.
you might be on that one. So, but it's hard to say. You can always call the front office and ask
Oh,
them,
okay,
and they
sure.
might be able to help you, because I don't know how they organize that.
Can I ask in her instance, in her case,
Mhm.
would she be able to submit another application? Would that hurt her? Or is her application just kept in there for the year? Like you
Yeah,
said,
we keep a folder for each new applicant, so
Oh, okay.
it's not necessary to do another one.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the reason why they don't tell us, because they don't want people calling and asking, there'll be too many people calling, so.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you just kind of have to wait. Yeah. But yeah, if it's been a long time, you can always call me, And
Well,
I
yeah,
always ask them
it was
which
back in
one.
October, so I was just wondering. if,
Back in
like,
October, okay,
yeah.
I'll ask them for you and then we'll see where it's at right now. Any other questions before we head out? No, we were good? Yes?
How will we be able to reach you?
You can always call the number in front of this pamphlet, and just ask for Max, and they'll transfer you to me. My extension is 118. 118.
So if I fill out an application right now,
Mhm.
how long will it take before I can actually start the program?
Yeah, like I said, it's hard for me to say, but I wanna say three or 4 months, yeah, just depends. Yeah, it took me 1 month, I don't know, I must have joined right when they were starting a new, semester or something. Yeah, I got into it, but I remember when I got in, I was like, dude, can I use my company 2 weeks notice? No, you have to take this job, no, I'm working Monday, okay, so, yeah.
You mind if we get your plug?
Huh?
You mind if we get your plug? Can you call us next month? I'm just kidding.
Put my name down. You guys sign in, it says that who gave you that information, put my name down. Max.
Oh,
Yes. All right, if we don't have any other questions, let's put on your safety glasses, we'll head out to the shop, I'll show you guys around, all right?
Okay, guys, we got safety glasses right here, okay? So just come and grab one.
Yeah, no.
What's going on, Davis? I think we got some more in this box here.
Are most of you guys working right now, or?
Yeah, okay, you can fill those.
These are some of the fittings that you guys will work on. Corn. It's a little fire smoke camper right there. Usable link and belts.
What's up, guys?
Is that me?
A lot of technique, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's Meg.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
me.
guys, let's head out this way.
All right, guys, we're gonna go get a tour of the sheet metal training facilities.
Companies really like it. It's really like, yeah.
These are recent graduates, got their welding certs. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, this is pretty much our walling area. We got about 52 booths, so it's pretty, simple. I work with 16. 52, right? So that laser welders in the back, you see it set up. see that door with the light? The whole room's gonna be painted matte black so there's no reflections. And once that door opens, that will cut off the machine because they don't want anyone shooting our lasers, blinding people. So there's a lot of safety measures that makes it example from this side. I was not selling it, but we do have a shooter in there. If you look up above, all the ductwork on above, all the, for the exhaust fan, that's all sheet metal, okay? So that's why all you made, you see that little sticker right there? You scan that sticker, it'll tell you where it came from, the shop, how much it costs, and everything. So if you take it to Ohio, people in Ohio will make California wages. So yeah, it's not fair. Really made. You got the panel on top, right? But all these long moves right here, this whole section right here is all your water feet. Come on, man. We got some flux cores in the back. We got some of the small machines over there that you use in the field. Okay, so we have some of those in the classroom. We got all the coupons right here that you guys can use faster your stats. Most likely for sheet metal, you're doing a D91, so it's just a butt joint overhead. Okay, so you take a 10 gauge, right? You're gonna do a square groove. It's gonna be on galvanized. You're gonna put a little gap in between, and then you pack it up. You're gonna do it overhead, and then you're gonna weld that, okay? This is a visual test, so it's gonna, you wanna see full penetration on the back. Okay? 10 gauge, you do it on the 18 gauge. I'll give you the full range. Okay, it's not too hard to get D91 cert. You know, a lot of guys come in that are welders, and then you know they come in at night and they're like, man, I need to get my aluminum cert right away because I have a job tomorrow. But it's like, dude, if you're a welder, you should already have that cert in your tool belt. You don't want to, you know, if you're gonna become a technician or a welder, you want to get certifications with you because then when the job comes up and you require to have that certification, you don't have it, it's gonna be a little too late, right? It's like, hey, I'll be canceling out your job, you know, go to shop, sit at home, whatever. So, you know, something like that, you want to make sure you got the welders come in. You got a certification lab office in the back. You know, this is where we do all the bed tests. And here's all our TIG rollers. Okay. And then over here is all our manual SCBW TIG rollers. Over here's our main shop. We got our manifolds, okay? Handbrake, stock shears. We got a hydraulic press in the back, hydraulic shear in the back also. And then we got our soldering station right here, spot welders. You guys ever used any of these tools before? No? You see like shear? Yeah, this little right? Little hand shear. Right, you come in, there's a little ruler right here on the side. You can use that to measure. There's also a back gauge. And all it is that you stop on it. Cut the metal for you. Right? Yep. Do a little measurement. Stop down on it. Watch yourself. Right, all these sheet metal are sharp. Okay, so you know you could always. This is a handbrake, right?
Yeah, definitely use that.
But yeah, it's fun because you get the, you know, everything on there. Oh, yeah. Put a little ham on it, right? And then, so now I got a little hem so it doesn't cut yourself, so you can rub your hand on it and it won't cut. And it stiffens up the material, right? So, there's a couple rollers, D-rollers, right? Triggers. Things that can roll material forward. We got our soldering station. We got press brake. We go to press brake. So if you guys look at this machine right here.
Can I ask, there was a vent in the front that had a weird like swirl to it. Would you be using one of these rollers to get that shape?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the press brake, so you know, obviously build it a little bigger, right? So if you look at this, bend all the letter, and like this. It's squared around, right? So it's a pipe, round on the top, square on the bottom. It's got a little bit of offset. And that's all bent by that machine right there, okay? So you can see that every little bend right here will create that roundness, okay? Obviously, if you're doing, if you do these bends, an eighth at a time or 16th at a time, makes it more smooth. So you don't see those lines, you get a nice radius. So you got some gutter right there, you see that? OG gutter. Right, OG. It goes in and out. You see that little S curve? It's the same thing as bent on that press brake. You got the hydraulic shear right here, so any kind of material that needs to be cut, there's a back gauge, you input the number, the back gauge will automatically move, you put that piece up, hit the pedal, and it'll cut the material for you. Same with this has a back gauge too, that will automatically go in and out. You got those little fingers right there, and you butt the material on the finger, and they'll bend it for you. So I used to work non-union, so I used to work at a shop that did kitchen work, but we had a fully, not a hydraulic press, but it's like a mechanical press, so it has a big old flywheel. And you gotta keep pumping it. And if that brake system doesn't work one day, it was too cold, the die would just slide down, boom, and then your whole panel would just, it's dangerous. We didn't have back gauges or anything, so any kind of layout we did, we had, do it in pen, and then when you're doing it on the brake, we always had 2 people stand on each side, and you have to look at the number, and you're facing really close because you gotta match that little line. But this, you have a back gauge, so you just butt it in. You don't have to worry about it and put the number that you need. Butt it in. You're far away from it. Push the button. Boom. Has a laser system, right? So if finds that there's a finger in there, it will automatically, prevent it from going down all the way. So yeah, good stuff. And then I remember when I worked at the shear too. There's a little hand guard right here, and then in our shop we have one of these, so you can stick your fingers right through it. This whole guard was taken off, no back gauge, same thing. You had to pull, use a tape measure to pull. It's super dangerous. Working with union contractors is a little different. I get the nice gears. I used to TIG weld, scratch shark TIG weld, right? And now it's like, okay, you got, a pedal and everything, so it's like, oh man, big difference. You never scratch shark TIG weld?
That's lift arc. That's lift arc, isn't it?
Not even lift arc,
Not
scratch
scratch
arc.
arc.
Yeah, you gotta scratch it, and your tungsten after a few
Kind of like
times.
stick would be, right?
Yeah, kind of like
And then
stick.
you have to resharpen your tungsten so often. What a pain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that vent's cut.
This one right here.
Got some spot welders right here, we got a soldering station right there. You guys know what a spot welder is?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, you're just gonna throw your cylinder sheet metal in there, right? And you spin it.
And then there's all the classrooms for each class. It's cool that you come in, do your bookwork, and you're out to shop.
Yeah.
The spot welder's right. Is that it there?
This one here, yeah.
Okay. Spot welder, guys.
So yeah, you'll set your metal in there.
Yeah.
And this side is kind of like the mirror image of the other side. We do
Yeah.
have a CNC copy cutter that does spot welder. So all the layout.
Spot welder.
You guys come in as students, you get a little school board, or you guys can check one out, and then they'll give you a instructor will give you a paper. They'll give you a copy of the board, and then you fill out the board. And then all the metal in the board. These are kind of like the expanders version of me, job, that's your job. So under our contract, anything electric, anything powered is provided by the contractor. Hand tools, you have to provide yourself. Okay?
And that's once you're out of your apprenticeship classes and stuff, when you're out in the field working.
Yeah.
You need,
Basic sheet
Well, you'll be
metal
working
tools.
as your.
Yeah. That's right. Try to correct
Yeah, a
myself.
project like this is like a full trade that they'll do. So You know, they have the dimensions, they have the layout. So that pretty much, that flat sheet of paper, sheet of metal, that's what they're gonna notch out. And if you turn it around, that will be the box that they'll make. Mhm.
Pretty much the blueprints, right?
Yep. And that's what they're making in the tool tray.
Okay.
Mm.
But I'm not too sure. I'm throwing it out.
Probably a good guess though.
That's it.
Right? Well, I mean, it's got the gas hooked up to it, so I would assume this is the like furnace. But then it's soldering, so I'm not too sure. That's kind of cool though.
Use this to solder.
Heat up the metal that you're trying to use and melt the thing, the filler.
Mm. Go ahead and like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe.
Rest it up on there, line it up.
Yeah, American flag over that. Aluminum welded finish.
It's all sheet metal.
I mean, you notice that a lot of things that we do, obviously, you know, has to have a lot of detail in it, right? We don't see any screws sticking out. Hopefully, you don't see any dents or any scratches on the panel, right? That's all things that you need to consider as an architectural sheet metal worker. So this is another couple of readers right here too. Soldered, so it's waterproof, right? Same thing as all top, so it's waterproof. So you kind of get creative. You can kind of come in, you know, design your own paneling system. You work on it. With the knowledge board, we have a little T-bar cylinders, a little on low, so you guys go through to the ground for duct work, right? Put all the barriers in there. We have one right here. Duct seal in it. You know, big OG coming out. It's gonna drop down, right? So you see how the finale board is in the way, so it comes in, it's got to drop back down, go through, right? So to avoid this sprinkler pipe, right?
And all this is manufactured in-house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so details we're drawing up, make sure nothing clashes with other trays, right? So obviously, like I said, the sprinkler pipe over here, so they got to drop the duct down. So once it's all drawn up, everything is good, they send that drawing to the shop, and the shop will fabricate everything. Cool, right? Got this little brick area. Yeah, when you guys look at a building now, everything you guys see, like, obviously when you guys are building a wall like this, right, you gotta plan out, hey, you gotta kind of make sure this is gonna be the same over there and over there, right? So they're kind of off, right, because that one's a little smaller than that, right, but it is centered, right, so you gotta do layout, think of those things, because everything that you guys look, we see has to be pleasing to the eye, right? Think this, right? Make sure it's centered, no dents, no scratches on the bone. A lot of times these panels are put in, they're pre-painted, so you gotta make sure there's no scratches or anything on it. This is only done in one semester, so if you think about it, 88 hours, it's not much time.
Sorry.
Another flag again, maybe. Got a little aquarium right here for specialty metals.
deck right here instead of the wood.
Yep. Yep.
Put some gutter right here, slide out. Very good. Ball. And one by hand. Shows over to put up. Move it top first, top part.
This is all one person or a group?
We fall protection training right here. You are tested at zero heights. Tie off the building like that. Metal's slippery when you
Slippery. Once you fall, it's slippery, man. So, but yeah, we do our fall protection training right here. How to tie it off, how to securely use harness. Right, because when you fall, right, your harness is, you're cutting off circulation to your legs, right? So you gotta make sure you have some stirrups or something to support yourself so you're not, your legs don't get atrophied. Get yourself down, right? Still takes time. It's a little castle on top. That's a little covered dragon right there. Little bar. Little bar right there.
That's nice. Oh man, so many ideas.
It's a little rusted because you can only see it's not stainless, but it's part of the aesthetic. Yeah, they put a patina on here, put a little wood grain, right, to make it look like wood. But right here needs a little love. Yeah, it's radius. Pretty tough to build, right? Yeah, ballast work at the bottom, some barrels.
So what?
You got a cupola in the back over there. You wanna check it out?
You also know that when you're in there, what it feels like. Didn't even know.
Oh, but looks like a big turbo.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Well, it's not a turbo, but it's some kind of thing to expel the air or something. Forgot what you call them, but
Joe. It's a family, it's stuff for her, you know. I used to work for Air Cleaning Service back in the 90s. Really? Yeah, man, that was so job. One of the first contracts we had was at the Navy base in San Diego, and the ducks. I mean, I'm talking about 100 yards this way, inside of the building. I had to crawl inside of them, vacuum them all the way out, and go through all of them. And if you claustrophobic, man, that's the job you don't want, because when you get inside there, you're inside the duct. You put a hole inside of it.
Right.
You crawl inside of it with the vacuum. Crawl through.
And that's when you know, it's nice, because that's when you kind of really know what you want to get into. You kind of really it's always good to learn everything, a little bit of everything. Also, it's hard to learn a little bit of everything. So yeah, if you want to focus, if you want to focus, like I said, if you're a welder, make sure you have all those.
These are different shows that we had to do for fiberglass installation.
You know, there's the servicing the units. You know, a lot of times you're installing all right, well, we'll head back down.
One of these in a semi.
Guys, this is our CAD lab, our one of the biggest ones in Southern California. If you're a CAD technician, you guys do a performance examination after you do your test online. A lot of people will come to our facility to do it. We're the only one that's certified in it. So we've got 2 energy lab systems, fully functional. Got 2 different platforms for the students to, you know, come in and work. We got a couple areas where they can, you know, put their equipment in and run all the tests. You have your chiller, your boiler, all that is fully functional. So about a $4 million equipment right here. You know? And right here is another $4 million. This is clean room. You got transfer cage right here. You got some laboratory exhaust fans right here. You know, helping you guys to simulate the real, a real situation. You know what I mean? So, But yeah, we got people coming from New York, out of state, Arizona, Nevada, everywhere. Coming here, you take the practical test because we're the only ones that have the equipment for it.
This place is dope, bro.
Chris, gotta get mad.
So we really got some of those analyzed layers. But yeah, we took out some of the old machines. So VRF is one of those new cassette air conditioning units. You guys ever seen those? They kind of go in each room. Little mini splits. Yeah. So those are kind of the future. Variable refrigerant flow. VRF stands for variable refrigerant flow. So they're able to take that refrigerant, you know, if one room is heating, they're able to reuse that energy. So a little more efficient. So yeah, right now the whole lab is a little different. I think we're gonna have 10 different areas where students will work on. I think we're gonna build a little mini 2x ceiling. We gotta get those units installed. So I think by the time you guys become apprentices, this is probably
Industrial HVAC systems, guys. Teach you all about HVAC over here too.
Yeah, I'm letting you know, I'm on your 11 o'clock, I'll be on my way to see you right now. Now, please don't tell McCall, man, I'm on my way to go down here right now. I'm on the 11 to give you an heads up. Thank you. Hold on.
Yeah, we'll take a class, man.
For real, in there. You wouldn't have to know what the restroom is, would you?
Exactly. We're at the,
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you. I was just trying to gain my grounds of where we were at. I was like, what? We're going on the back side of it.
The applications are right here. You guys want to fill them out? They're down the hall. Out the door to the right. You'll see it right out the door. I'll double check our graph. What was it again? I remember you emailed me, right?
Yeah, I did.
Sarah Boston?
Yeah, here.
Oh, trade school or?
I guess you could call it that. It's like a certification training program, so you train to get certified in welding.
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So all of us are certified in at least one type of welding, so arc welding.
Okay.
So a lot of us have made, some of us have TIG. And then I guess a couple of people last semester did flat as well, so,
That's,
you know one or two types of welding also.
yeah, one thing welding, I never got the hang of that. I did just enough to kind of go through the program, but
To get through the program.
yeah, the stick in particular is. I
Yeah,
couldn't get
stickers
that.
are key.
Who needs a pen?
Push it down, you can't-
Hey, you guys keep these pens when you guys are done, okay?
Yeah.
There's no pens right here.
Isn't that like big? But I thought it was way easier to stick. Yeah, 'cause like the striking thing, like I was striking.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope I gave you guys some good information. And, you know, take advantage of it if you're into sheet metal or anything like that.
Now checking out any other buildings too, or?
Well, if you just showed us the whole training.
Oh, I mean, like any other trades?
Oh, I don't know, all of